Hi friends, this is Miss Muller. We are doing Purple Sort 6 this week. And our sort is comparative suffixes. So remember, suffixes come at the end of a word and they're comparing. So we're comparing ER, EST, IER, and IEST. And these are comparative suffixes. So let's start with the ER category. Every word is going to have a base word, just like we did with prefixes. So this word is a helper word. It's kinder. I want you to underline the word kind in there. So you would underline K-I-N-D, and I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to underline my base word. So kind is the base word. So can you underline kind like I did? Kinder. So if she was kind, he was a little bit kinder. He was a little bit more kind. Now go ahead and find the word stranger. Stranger. Do you know what the base word in this is? It's actually strange. Strange. Excuse me. Strange. Now go ahead and find the word cleaner. Cleaner. So my room was clean, but her room was cleaner. Go ahead and underline clean. That's our base word here. The next word I want you to find is quieter. That room was quiet, but this room is quieter. Go ahead and underline the word quiet. The next word I want you to find is harsher. Harsher. The weather was harsh at noon. It was even harsher in the evening. Right? Harsh means real, it could mean unpleasant or kind of bad. The next comment we're going to look at is est, E-S-T. So go ahead and find that helper word, kindest. Kindest. So again, underline kind, because that's our base word. And our suffix is est, kindest. So she was kinder, but he was kindest, right? He was a little more kind than she was. The next word I want you to find is strangest. Strangest. So let's compare these. We have stranger, strangest. Again, underline the word strange. That's our base word. Strange. The next word I want you to find is cleanest. Cleanest. So her room was cleaner, but my room was cleanest. Right? You're comparing the two. The next word I want you to find is quietest. That room was quieter than hers, but my room was the quietest. And you're underlining the base word, so make sure you underline clean and underline the word quiet. And the last word I want you to find in this column is harshest. Right, so that weather was pretty harsh. This weather today is the harshest weather I've ever seen. Right, it's really, really unpleasant. The next one we're going to go to is IER. IER. And our helper word for this is the word earlier. Earlier. So I went to bed early, but she went to bed even earlier than I did. Earlier. The next word I want you to find is emptier. So my bottle was pretty empty, but hers was even emptier. Hers was even emptier. And the word empty is spelled E-M-P-T-Y. But when you add the I-E-R suffix to the end, you have to drop that Y and add an I. So our base word completely isn't even in here. So we can't underline the word empty because there's no Y. But empty, we know, would be our base word, right? Okay, the next word we're going to find is trickier. Trickier. That problem was tricky, but my problem was even trickier. And the same thing with tricky. Tricky is spelled T-R-I-C-K-Y. But we don't have that Y because when you add that I, you have to replace it with the Y. Replace the Y and add the I. The next word I want you to find is fancier, and the same rule applies to this. There's no Y, so we're not going to underline the base word. But the base word would be fancy. The next word I want you to find is crummier. Crummier. She had a pretty crummy day, but mine was crummier. Mine was worse. The next word I want you to find is murkier. Murky, right? We know murky means like dark or gloomy. So it might have been a murkier day today than it was yesterday. It's a little more gloomy today. And the last word in this column I want you to find is shinier. She washed her necklace and it became shinier than mine, right? More shiny. Our last column today is IEST, and this is, when you compare them, this would be the most. So let's find the word earliest. So she might have gotten up early. I might have gotten up earlier than her, but Mrs. Lanzini got up the earliest. She was up before anybody. The next word I want you to find is emptiest. Emptiest. So my bottle was empty. Her bottle was emptier than mine, but Mrs. Merchant had the emptiest bottle of all of us. We're comparing. Can you see that? The next column I want you to find, the next word in the IEST column is trickiest. Trickiest. She had the trickiest math problem to solve. Mine was tricky. Hers was a little trickier than mine. And Mrs. Turson had the trickiest problem of all. The next word I want you to find is fanciest. I had a pretty fancy dress on, but Mrs. Salzman had an even fancier dress on, and Mrs. Vanny had the fanciest dress on. The next word I want you to find, go ahead and find the word crummiest. Crummiest. So she had a crummy day. I had a crummier day, but Mrs. Chiesa had the crummiest day of all of us. The next one I want you to find is murkiest. Murkiest. So the fog made the afternoon even murkier in the morning, but in the evening, the darkness made it the murkiest of all. And the last word I want you to find is shiniest. So my ring was shiny. Mrs. Farron had a shinier ring than me, but Mrs. Lanzini had the shiniest ring of all. So we're comparing. These suffixes this week are ER, EST, IER, and IEST, and we're comparing them with ER, EST, IER, and IEST. Nice job today, friends.